Cool, guys. Howdy. Thanks for watching Avad. Yeah, let's go. It's Friday. I've got a couple things that I wanna check out. There may have been some optimizations that I would see in the editor, so I may pop over there in a minute as well. Maybe I'll load the. Let's see, because I doubt it'll be in this built client, so probably see it in the editor. I may take a look at that first, and then we may come back in and just play something. Play or something, I guess I should. Anyway, hope everybody's doing good. It's been a really good week. We've gotten a lot done. It's been a fast week, man. It's blown by, but a lot of fun stuff on the design side, the behind the scenes stuff that we don't really show much. But it's been good. A lot of things coming together, cleanup coming together, teams working diligently ahead of the pencils down time for our upcoming stress test. So I'm hoping a lot of this stuff that we're seeing come online in terms of some optimizations, some beautifications, things like that will make it in there. But at the end of the day, the big thing that we're shooting for is ultimately that we're seeing improvements on the networking side of things, and you guys are able to play a little bit better. And if that works, then that unlocks more opportunity for smaller playtests moving forward. So then you can appreciate some of this other stuff. But once again, if you're watching the video on YouTube, thanks a ton. Honestly, you guys on YouTube, it's a treat to hop into the little YouTube what's it called, dashboard or whatever, and see the various comments and then respond to them and shit. Like, always a ton of really cool comments. We share them with the team, and it's a nice little pick me up some days. So thanks for that. Justin Beard, what's going on? Keith, Costanza, Dargis, Sarenth, Talet, what's going on, guys? Tier 1 Rabbit. What's going on? Warlock, what's up? Darton, Darius. Tier 1 Rabbit, I don't know what your name's based on, but just in case it happens to be in this area of interest, have you seen the book Relentless Strike: The Secret History of Joint Special Operations Command? Keith, it is. I don't. Is the book I recommend? Is it really? I'm gonna look it up now. Accusing me of recommending a book with 500,000 pages. I'm looking it up now. What was that? Secret. Something's machines book. I'm looking up the page count since you've been busting my balls about this all week. And now it's making me, did I only just read a fraction of it? Because I swear I didn't read that many pages. I didn't get that, I thought I got okay far into it. Okay, so Chasing Shadows, Secret Machines, Chasing Shadows. Book 1 of 2, Secret Machines, Chasing Shadows. Where's the scrolling page count? 700 pages. Okay, so it's as thick as the stand. Sure. Okay. That's not 500,000 pages. Tier 1 Rabbit, if you're into that type of stuff, I don't know if your name's derived from an interest or participation in Tier 1 operations. But I highly recommend the audiobook for that. Actually, is what I listened to. In solid narration, it's a really good audiobook. So great background. Really interesting, objective, well sourced take. Nicodemus says, afternoon, sir. Tough day for me. Fence broke yesterday. My boys took off to chase deer. We were out looking for them all yesterday. Found Ollie today. My boy Amos still missing. I need all the prayers, good vibes I can get. You know what? Done. Definitely be thinking about you. Man, I'm really sorry to hear that. Has he run off before? Hey, Zephasis, Surfer. Shiden. Got everyone looking for him. It's a matter of time now. Hope things turn around. Justin Beard's dead. Hey, Chaz Solo. Never run off before. But is... Shit, buddy. I am not a fan of that news, man. That's a bummer. I wish I lived near there. I'd be out with you all weekend looking for him. Hey, Dozakar. Walked him around the neighborhood a lot. Hopefully he'll find me. Man. You guys, have you contacted, do you guys have like shelters and stuff around there? Contact all the animal folks? Hey, Isan. Five places. Alright. Well, I'll be praying that you guys are just hanging out there this evening or something. He just kind of wanders back up all silly, like, why are you guys worried? Tier 1 Rabbit says, reminds me of Fate Art. Yeah, it's this will be our take on a nice elven wooded area. Spent a lot of time this week looking at the lore and getting some stuff cleaned up in preparation for doing more design work in here. Hey, Mondus. I'm trying to rack my brain, Bill, on what else to recommend. Because I know I wouldn't be patient at all. If my pups, if my pup ran off. He's not much of a wanderer though, so I'd definitely be worried about him. Where I found Ollie, property owners saw both of them, fed them around 11 p.m. Plenty of water in my area. Okay. Is it mostly property out where you're at, or is it a lot of neighborhood, roads, anything like that? Woods? Alright. Well, that's a bummer, dude. It's cool. This region that we're in here is the region is Califray with a C, not a G. And the zone, this particular zone is been renamed. It was Evergrove before, it's Evershade now. Evershade Weald. W-E-A-L-D. Ollie was a mile and a half from the house. Man, they went for it. You said they were just chasing a deer all that way? Hey, Unchained. Primus, maybe. What's going on, Primus? Code and Caffeine. Guys, can you petition for me? Is there a White Monster Ultra with sugar? I can't get used to the sugar-free taste. Doesn't do it for me. What does White Monster taste like? It's a bit, that's the problem. Without sugar, I can't really place it. What's in it? Flavor-wise. I'm so old I've got to like look under my glasses. I don't know what it's supposed to taste like. Gotta add 2 scoops of sugar inside. That won't work. Are you one of those dudes that can eat, drink whatever he wants and not get diabetes? I'm, well, so far, but we'll see how long that lasts. Love the white ones, but only if they're ice cold. Yeah, as soon as it stops, as soon as it kind of gets a little bit out of that ice cold range, it's not great, huh? But I've started it. I don't know if I'm going to finish it, but... Bill said he has a good sniffer. I've not taken a shower and tried to drive around the loop roads around that area, see if I can get my scent followed back home. If he can get my scent and follow back home. No, but extreme? No, not extreme at all. And if it was my dog, I'd be out there with the dirty clothes hamper, leaving a dirty sock and underwear breadcrumb trail all the way back home. Isn't it late there? How can you sleep? It's 8 p.m. here. I can usually drink caffeine on a stream night. I can drink caffeine 7, 8, or throughout the stream. I am so tired by the time my day is over these days that I'll fall asleep, usually about midnight. And on a Friday, that's not bad because Jasmine doesn't have to get up early on Saturday. During the week, it can be kind of rough sometimes because I'll do this on like Wednesday, get in bed around midnight or whenever, then get up at 5:30 or 6 the next morning. And this week we did that on Wednesday. Then I think Tuesday was a late night working on some stuff. Went to bed about midnight, just after. There was a couple like 5.5 hour nights for me, and that is it's tough. It can be tough. So I'm not gonna lie, I take a nap occasionally. What's up, all of us? Did I miss anybody? Hey, Possum. Decappy. Ezcool, G. Willikers, Boric, Primus. Have you guys seen this? We've added in the ability for you to choose a deity. We're gonna change this. Did some work on religion, gods, and stuff today. We're gonna change this to say faith instead of deity. So choose a faith. Well, we're going to be continuing to sort of work out the initial. Thanks, Keith. This will be one of those things that evolve as we define like the need, but Keith's got a good system in there for us to get started. And yeah, the pet icons are fantastic, right? And yeah, so with it switching from deity to faith, there'll also be like the ability to worship sort of like small, strange pantheons and things like that over time, especially stuff that you discover in game. And we'll be working on a religion system, a devotion system that will allow you to pick your initial faith, but then over time you can build up faith, change who you follow, build up faith with different gods or pantheons or faith. So which may be more sort of god driven, deity driven, or they may be more faith driven. So like we have a faith in the game already, so we've got gods like Haradrill or the Matsuar, but we've also got a faith like worship of the Nine, and so that's actually a small pantheon that has a religion built around it, right? So so yeah, let's see. Does Surfall have a temple in Night Harbor? The only one I haven't found. Surfall may not. Is there an alignment? Yes, there. I mean, we're going with gods. You'll find that there's a fairly old school alignment system. We haven't talked much about like sort of the lawful, neutral, chaotic aspect of it, but definitely good neutral evil. Will we be able to be blasphemous and abandon faith and turn agnostic? Yes, that's actually built into the design of the system, Flintlock. Numbly fans, Flintlock, Lemon Candies, how you guys doing? Coding Caffeine said, so I gave Ashes of Creation a real college try. I'd say there's still some potential there, but I think I'd prefer the tab target battles versus action based. I'm honestly kind of sad that it seems like all games have gone in a Gears of War style. Gears of War, God of War style combat for every game genre out there. Yeah, I mean, it shows better in the video, and a lot of people just prefer that sort of that kind of more action-based, more visceral combat than auto attack and things. But hey, can you create your own faith? We're not going to talk about that too much because I don't want to like promise something we can't do. But there's a potential hook for that in the system at the highest levels of devotion. Vespera is not a starting option. We have not defined starting options. These were kind of, we don't have all of the details fleshed out on all the gods. So Keith grabbed some of what we had in there just to get the system up and running. Anything you see in here in terms of selection and stuff is liable to change before early access. Any class perks for choosing specific gods. Thorfinn, that'll be something that as we're working through the system, there's a concept in the system for progression and progressing through that system has some built-in opportunities. How that worked with the classes or all the classes or certain classes and the explicit nature of some of those perks is something that we'll be working through. But the opportunity is there. It's whether or not we leverage it and how. So that's my most wishy-washy answer I could give. Because I don't want to say yeah, and I don't want to say no. Because the opportunity is absolutely there, and and it's accounted for in the system. But how we ultimately determine that where we ultimately go with it and sort of how far we take it will be something that we see. That'll be a big conversation with Nick and Ollie and the system guys and the team and stuff like that, right? Because we want to make it feel, we want differentiation. We want there to feel like there's opportunities and have it be something worthwhile and fun. We also just want to watch that we don't make something that's too broken. A little broken, okay. Too broken, probably not. Okay, so we changed the volumes in here last stream, and I haven't been back in. Is this new music? It's rather new. This song is Secret of the Ashira Tribes. Darius said this is the kind of shit I love. Yeah, hoping that the religion and factional stuff we do, hopefully that winds up being a nice payoff for those of you that liked it in EQ and stuff, but really wanted to take it up a notch. Then yeah, take it up a notch. Fucking sorry guys, I'm not the most articulate. I feel like performance in here even is, yeah, I'm like capping out right now. The performance in editor is improved here. Monda said this one system I thought you really didn't explore in a significant way, but always had a lot of potential. Yeah, agreed. And we get some flexibility when you have the opportunity to like renounce your faith and take up a new faith and all that stuff. So that's helpful as well. Potentially join a cult. Do paladins and clerics have to join a god by default? They can pick any of the faith. So they can be agnostic. You can be an agnostic cleric and paladin. Just through sheer belief in your ability to sheer belief in yourself, right? Like, and depending on what kind of cleric or paladin you are, essentially the RP for that will be, if you're agnostic, it'll be whatever mission you've kind of established for yourself. So, but I'm hoping that with interesting faiths out there, there'll be less reason it'll be worthwhile to not be agnostic. Cody Caffeine says, yeah, I thought, did you get a new PC or are you guys optimizing a bit? Optimizing and finding some stuff that we could have done differently to improve performance. But yeah, it feels fast in here, right? We'll go to Night Harbor in a second to see. That's why I'm in the editor right now, is to see that, because the built client doesn't have it yet. Sorry, Keith, I missed your comments, but I think Keith was commenting on like just, yeah, we want to hit that feel of you making those different selections, following different paths and stuff will definitely impact where you can go at times and who you can interact with and all that. So Vespa has been changed to Vespera. I saw Vespa and just thought it was a great name. When we put it in there, I was just like, oh, Vespa, it sounds so cool. And at some point, someone was asking me like the scooter, and I was like, oh shit, you're right. So it's Vespera now. Hey, Chinny D. Did I miss anybody? Anybody come in that I didn't say hi to? Isn't belief key to paladin or priest, but agnostic isn't a belief. It's open-ended. So I think there's a conflation of like belief has to be strictly focused on a deity or a faith, whereas so like a cleric's belief in their ability to heal, their belief in themselves is enough, right? Their belief is one that's more mission based than it is necessarily deity specific if they're agnostic, because they're not an atheist. They believe that there are gods, and there may be a god. Yeah, there may be gods. There is some sort of power, and they feel tapped into that power. Let's see. Hey, MMO Pug, what's up? All right, so let's zone. You know what? Maybe we just run really quick naturally. We don't zone. Let's try that. Let's see what happens. Hey, Aramisk. Would this system allow for something analogous to the D&D Warlock, in which instead of having a god, you have a patron who you have a more personal influential relationship with? You mean the faith and devotion system, Mondus? Yeah, the system itself would allow for that. It would be unlikely that we set it up so that you select that from the onset. But again, a lot of the reason why we wanted the ability for you to renounce your faith and take up another faith, etc., is so that in theory you could find that as you're playing. And so it would be possible for us to then put in, because it work a bit like when you're interacting with the system. Imagine it'll work a bit like interacting with a trainer, right? So you'll find key NPCs that you interact with regards to the specific devotion system, but then it'll be loosely tied, sort of parallel tied into faction. So in theory, if you factioned up with a cult or a specific NPC that's part of a certain plot line, like there is this powerful, somebody threw some ideas in there, like, okay, like fae spirits or elementals. Say you find a way to faction up with them, similarly to how you can currently faction up with the Ashira. Once you're at a point where you could interact with that NPC that is like your devotion interface, right? Like your faith trainer, and you're able to tithe and do the things that NPC wants with you, then you would be able to renounce your current faith and then join up with that faith. Be great if renouncing a faith has negative consequences. Yes. Ideas for that are written up in the system. Hey, Jasmine, welcome home. Yeah, the way it's currently written is renouncing your faith actually is kind of a big deal. So, and it could potentially, we'll see how far we take it, but it could potentially have some negative consequences and maybe even some like pretty overt lasting or semi-lasting consequences. So are mounts going to be in the game? Yep. Is the fastest they are on. They're on the list. I'd have to look at the schedule to see when we're going to be working on it. It's not too far off now, actually, because we want to make sure that we're designing the zones in a way that works well with them. So they've been front loaded a bit. This skeleton's up on the road. Hey, guy. Wallaby says, sounds like a flexible framework for supporting interesting character backstories and gameplay. That was the hope. So we've got, you know, I would say that a lot of our systems are relatively simple. And a lot of our systems, while they can interact with each other pretty well, they're not tightly integrated in a way where there's like potential for sort of cascading system failure, right? Like it's not to pick on like Ashes of Creation, but one of the things I look at, I'm like, man, you know, if they pull it off, it would be really cool. But one of the concerns I have for a game that's got systems of that sort is if you've got like a progressive node system that then content systems are feeding off of, and there's systems within the node system that, you know, define like the type of node, and there's player decision, which is based on sort of like voting systems or whatever. And I may be misrepresenting it, and I don't want to. I'm just using it as like maybe a familiar, something that's familiar. So I'm not going too abstract. When I look at that, like just personally as a designer, I'm like, my brain's not big enough to sort of like ensure that there aren't potential, you know, cascading failure points. Whereas something like this devotion system and the way we're handling like faith and things like that, it's fairly modular. It's very independent. It works well with some of the other systems and vice versa. Like factions even are made to kind of, we'll see if this works, and they're not tightly integrated. They work in parallel, right? Like, so you'd have to faction up in order to interact with this NPC, as opposed to as opposed to sort of like duplicating a lot of the faction work within the devotion system itself, right? So, and it's the way our mud actions and volumes and quests and statics and widgets and other systems all work. They all can ping each other, but they're not tightly integrated in the sense that, you know, it's all some like weird big mega or meta system. I don't know if that makes sense the way I'm explaining it or not, but hopefully you guys kind of get what I'm saying. But they're very simple data-driven systems, right? So even things like our conditionals, like times of day, day of the week, season, moon phases, all that sort of shit. That's just its own little thing, and then that plugs in nicely. It touches all of the other systems, or the other systems can use those conditions, right? So, yeah. Anyway, Borlik said that would be some powerful RPG elements for an MMO, set MMO apart. We're hoping that, you know, the thing for us is like really getting in and making content, because that's the other thing. Getting systems in is one thing, but if you're not making the content to really make full use of those systems, then that, you know, then they don't pay off. But I think the interaction with the mud actions, you know, are faith and devotion. Faith and devotion, isn't that Depeche Mode? Anyways, so those things, hopefully people start to get a feel for like there being a lot of depth here, and all right. So notice, I don't think this zone has been touched then. I wonder if the optimization still need to be, like the static thing or whatever needs to be done here. But so notice this zone versus the last zone. We'll go, then we'll hit Shaded Dunes next and see what it feels like. Hope there are never flying mounts. No, not true flying mounts, G-Willikers. We may have a mount that kind of looks like it's flying because it's over the ground a little bit, or goes up to like a very controlled plane and comes back down and lands. Something that we can really control, but not freeform flying mounts. No. So as the fastest as levitating mounts would indeed be cool though. For sure, adding a deity worship specific progression path would be awesome. And like I said, the hope is if the system works the way it's supposed to, then we can sneak in. We can sneak in new deities. We can sneak in weird faiths. We can have new cults pop up, and you may find a way to join a cult. And then stretch goal, we'll see if the system actually works to do it, but could be that you could start a cult or a faith. Wallaby says, think I'm following. Very cool, almost like systems as microservices within the game content. Yep. All right. Frame rate here is looking good. What's up, Ollie? It's Ollie's birthday, everybody. Ollie, I'm in editor right now, and it was funny when I hopped into game. It was so smooth that it felt like the built client. And there's even a comment in chat that it was like, I was wondering if you'd gotten a new machine. So, but I did restart my machine before this stream, and we have made some optimizations, I think. I haven't seen this firsthand. Chinny came over here and fixed this up. I'm gonna go check it out. Check it out. But that does make sense though, right, Ollie? I mean, we've those optimizations. Well, interesting, right? Did you see that? Why did that? There's something right there that hit me in the old frame rate. Editor has to load handles as you move. Okay, okay. Ollie, I think some of the water being this clear is okay, but I think when we get rid of, like, I wouldn't want all the water to be this clear. Because there was something really terrifying about the water where you couldn't see. Oh, this is missing the shader. Okay, I thought you were saying that you felt this was the way to go. Oh, yeah. Like, being able to see into it's wonderful. Even though my sun's going down. Yeah, especially like right there and you see the crocodile moving. So, but the like the built client doesn't have any of this new stuff in it, right? Because people are still just like updating zones and stuff earlier. Should it? Okay, then I'll hop in there next. I was actually just want to maybe play a bit tonight. Eric said EQ2 XR had a skill that cleared up water blindness. It's kind of neat. Oh, don't let us forget that one, Eric. Okay, I will grab that one, Ollie. Yeah, so anyway, I'm excited for the faith work, the faith and devotion system work to continue. I think that'll be a fun one for folks. This week's been a lot of like just documentation cleanup and lore work and things like that in preparation for doing content creation in the in Evershade Wield and looking at the Wood Elf specific content and getting ready for religion and what else has there been? Man, this week has flown by. Cappy said, yesterday I wanted a kite in Lakeaville Omen, went under the water, couldn't see more than 2 meters, so I gated. Yeah, I've really had the wanting to play some EQ bug lately. I haven't made enough time to play games. And it was funny, everybody was talking about like Path of Exile 2 last night, all this stuff, and all I could think was, you know, if I had time to play, oh, and I guess the new WoW server. I just want to get in and play some more EQ, I guess. Probably hop back onto P99. I really, really, really wish there's a new P99 server. I did not see Redbeard's new video on EverQuest 3. Is there new information, Thadvik? Hey, XV. What's up, Thadvik? Is the info beyond what was said in that interview with Jin and... there was a... I saw that interview, like 20-minute interview. I think it was like Kevin Lighty and Jin and someone else. Yeah, Darius, I wanted to be classic. I'm not, be honest, some of the like the super custom EQ MU servers are fun for a few days. Like we've popped into some stuff in the past, like Classless 3, I think, and things like that. I would prefer something with the older feel and real, hopefully, staying power. So something like a new P99 green. You know, people are gonna play it for a long time. Right, I'm just like you guys when it comes to MMOs, right? Like I want to know that the server that I'm gonna be investing my time in on has like real staying power. And I want a fresh one. And I want to play some EQ. So There's a little but more info about how they want EQ3 to be like. I mean, the takeaway. I'll watch the video if you've got a link. That'd be cool. I'll watch the video, but I'll be curious where they land with it, because the takeaway I had from the interview they did was it was EverQuest IP, EverQuest 1 vibe, but they used the word modern 3 times. In that one sort of description, that one sentence. It's like a modern take on classic EverQuest, I guess. So that's where I'd be curious where they're heading. Hey, Shmonite.
I had a video planned today that was all about Star Wars.
All right, I got it, so I won't miss it. Seems like she knows her stuff, though. Yeah, she's a smart cookie. Have you seen? I did an interview with her. It's in the VODs. I don't know. Should I watch Redbeard's? I don't know that I'm gonna react to it, but is it appropriate for me to watch? I mean, this is just a hanging out while we're working kind of stream, right? So I don't know that it's too weird. Ollie, my frame rate in here is still kind of where it was, to be honest. I mean, lately actually it's a bit better than lately, but you know, this is editor. So you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna hop out of here. I'm gonna hop out of editor. Hey, thanks, Keith. Oh shit. That's a good point, Chip. Thank you. Let me hop back in then, and then hop into the build client. But Chip was saying in the other zones earlier, the performance in editor in the other zone was so good that I thought maybe I was in the client and not in the editor. Like it was super smooth. So yeah, let's see. I'll get back in and see once we get in and things are occluding. Now I'm really curious. And then we'll watch that video. Well, it looked like maybe the geo in Veil of Zentar had been flagged properly as well, because I noticed NPCs weren't running up the walls, but that may have been from when I changed some of the from just changing the spawn volumes. So we'll see. Every once in a while, when the Wormsbane Tunnel music's playing, this one, I'm like, I forget that I'm listening to our music, and then I start to wonder. I'm like, what is this? What are we listening to? This is awesome. Yeah, this is a noticeable improvement for me in the editor. And I think it's, as Ollie was saying, some of the hitching is me running through here and stuff loading up. This is running on an SSD. Chip says in editor it has to load all the debug info when stuff spawns, so that's the hitch field. Yeah, that makes sense. Can I fall into these pits? I'm gonna guess. Oh. Nope, it looks like it just got elevated, and even my little gnome self can't fall in, so we just need to fix it, but let me mention it just in case I have. Do we think this is a Buren thing, maybe? Updating buildings. Be sure to check if they're landing back in the same place. This is just elevation. It hasn't budged. Oh man, every once in a while when the caffeine really hits and I'm in here messing with stuff and talking to the guys, or in here talking to you guys, like I just get a nice, like, I don't know, it's just a good feeling. Feels good, man. New shader stuff. We're looking at it here, right, Goblin? Blue paint on one of the walls. That's still placeholder, but I think it's been there for a little bit now. I don't remember if it's in the last playtest, but it's been here for a bit. It is... So I was worried that that Bjorn was doing stuff that maybe then would have to be redone or whatever later, but it's my understanding, Goblin, that the work you guys are doing is it's getting the shader in place, so then everything's applied to the structures, and then later on, if you guys want to go back in and like paint in different textures or do whatever it is you need to do, then the bulk of the work's already been done, and it's not going to create like you're not redoing work. That was my understanding when I asked earlier, which if that's the case, cool. Hey, Dragon. Yeah, so you know, guys, I know a lot of you, we've gotten used to looking at the textures and stuff that are in here. A lot of you have gotten used to it, but keep in mind that we're doing a lot of texture work in terms of like finalizing the texture style, finalizing the pipeline. We just brought on an additional person to help with textures. His actual real life name is Dragon. Pretty dope. And so we'll be changing the I don't want to say the appearance because that's too general. We'll definitely be updating textures in a way that RGO and stuff work in the coming month. Yeah, if you guys haven't seen it, here, I'll show you something pretty cool. Bill maintains a nice map of where the team is. Honestly, I'm just trying to open a PNG, guys. What photos? So that is our distribution. Normally Fan says I want bright pinks and neon greens. What's up, Simon? Hey, Malus. I doxed you. Fairly. He's in that region. You can find him in Saudi. So we've been updating Sage Side, and we'll be continuing to update this area a bit and make it a little bit fancier, a lot of planters and stuff like that. We've moved the bank, it's fancier. It's a big bank now to reflect the might of the Langsdorfian League. Big bank, and then over here there'll be a new inn. There are 2 banks, and there will be 3, at least 3 banks. We'll be putting another one in the harbor. Do they offer commercial loans in game? Interesting question. Not yet. That used to be the granary. Now it's a big bank. I need to move some peoples around. And Bjorn is working on his new inn. The granary is a bank now, yes. And you'll over the next bit, you'll start to get a sense of the different districts and which factions have more influence over them. So Sage Side in this area here, you already know there's a Red Mantle garrison there. There'll be a Langsdorfian League affiliated bank here. the granary was just such a badass building, and was looking at how to beef up like the visibility of the league's power here. And yeah, so they've got this bank that the way that Pattis had designed the granary, it was elevated so that the animals wouldn't burrow in, right? Yeah, the granary didn't really do anything. It was just a fictional sort of place. We'll have the grain stored somewhere else. But I mean, first of all, this looks really badass. And then second of all, it makes a practical bit of sense, right? Because we can have a guard. We can have a red mantle guard that patrols around here. And it's elevated so that goblins can't get in. You can't drill into the bank from under. There's guards. There's guards. What kind of person would try to attempt a caper where you sneak into the bank from below? Watch a goblin try for sure. Never underestimate the sewer gnomes. So yeah, I think you guys, your skepticism in the security here, I think, is well founded, and you never know. You may find yourself up to some hijinks over here. Maybe. Put a couple mirrors and you're in. What's up, Epic Fail? Scruffy Bard, how you doing? Who else I missed? Yeah, so basically just redoing this area a little bit. This has been reworked as well, so there's still some work to do, as you can see, but we'll try to get that cleaned up. Blow a couple supports under the vault. It comes to you. Boom, profit. See? If it is a Langsdorfian bank, shouldn't patrolmen be there instead of Red Mantle Guard, or does the League hire them for it? So, since you're interested in the lore, and I know you're the one trying to farm us the most for lore lately, the Red Mantles are part of the Langsdorfian League. Must say the amount of polish that is going into the Night Harbor is really impressive. Just wait until we actually get to the point where we're polishing it. I wonder if these could be climbable. No, you're not annoying trying to get lore. It's fine. It's fun. I'm glad there's somebody that cares. How will my PC be able to load this after being polished? Hopefully better. There's a lot of optimization going on right now. Like it's actually running a lot better for me in editor right now than it has. So I'm in editor, and we've got some optimizations that have gone in. I'm in editor right now in this area at least. I'm hitting 30 to 40 frames, and that's usually not the case. So I'm gonna pop out now, and I'm gonna get in the built client, which should run better. The amount of detail going into Night Harbor is really impressive. Yeah, there'll definitely be more over time. Langsdorfians sound like very large dwarves, by the way. Large Dwarfian League? Now you've ruined it for me. Alright, so with the editor still up in the background, we'll see. All right, let's see. Oh, play. I need to hit play. That's what needs to happen. Oh, damn. All right. Well, I'm moving fast. Speed gym is on. Okay. Any plans for a sewer system in Night Harbor? There's already some sewer coming online, yeah. We've got some sewer. You just haven't been in it yet. And there'll definitely be some stuff going on with sewer and other areas. We've got some we've got some small areas that have been coming basically being developed here and there that we'll introduce in different ways. So they're not big enough that we like call them out specifically as zones yet, but honestly they are kind of small zones. And then as time allows, we'll add to the complexity of that stuff and then get it fully integrated. So let's see. Cast speed of wild. I feel they're all Wormsbane size now. I wouldn't be shocked. I wouldn't be shocked. And that's cool, right? I mean, there's some areas in the zone already that we know you guys haven't fully explored. And there'll be more. So I'm running at 60, well, 52 to 60 frames in here now. This is the same spot I was in before. This is just the actual client as opposed to the editor. Do these dungeons Night Harbor have their own zone, or are they part of Night Harbor? The ones I was just referring to are part of the zone. And then but we have opportunity to do things like, we just put a zone line in. So like the sewer stuff, I don't think it's part of the zone. Those would be their own little zone. Let's see, task manager, performance. And for reference, I've got a older NVIDIA. I've got an old NVIDIA RTX 2070 Super. So I don't, whatever you got, kind of you can use it as a reference, I guess. So hopefully you noticed that, like Ollie was saying, Chip found a bunch of performance stuff, and we've been working on performance, so. Will this run on your Doodoo 5? No, it will not run on your Voodoo 5. Rev says... Rev says... I'm still running a 1080 Ti. Man, I need to upgrade. You know? It'd be cool if we were your reason for upgrading. But only because... okay, these are floating too. Only because, you know... Only because it would make it slightly better and not because you couldn't play at all. Alright, so let me mention to... Noticed it with... this one as well. Looks like new shader. Same thing, just elevated a bit. Do you have to apply the new shader to the buildings individually? Guys, correct me if I'm wrong. It sounded like we do and he had to batch them. Yeah, okay, pretty much. Yeah, so I think there's something with the import that's throwing off their, you know, Z axis or Y axis or whatever we're calling that. This is a cool area. We have to reuse this for, we may have to use this for something. I like this because it's like this little alley, then boom. I think I had it flagged as player housing, but I kind of dig this as an area. Amos is home. Nice. Nice. Good. Whew. All right. Almost brings a little tear to my eye. Good to hear it. I'm gonna mute for a second and catch Jasmine up on it. Yeah, Jasmine says Jasmine is very happy that Amos is back, but she said I'd be pretty mad with that dumbass though. Oh, buddy. Nice. Oh, that's good to hear, man. I'll be able to go to bed with a little more peace. Now I'm gonna put a fence around the house. The Cat 5 hurricane can break. Yep. Oh man, good to hear, man. Yeah, so whoever was just saying Z-axis off, but they look great. Mail yeah, and this is it's just getting started. We're, like I said, we're gonna be doing a lot of texture work. As you can see, there's some sort of, I think, a little preliminary blending going on, but we'll be doing a lot of like texture work and texture sort of blending and all that stuff. You guys that have been looking at like the placeholder textures for a while, or I think some of the people, it's funny, every once in a while, like somebody in Reddit or whatever will be like, oh, I like it, but you know, the in-game art isn't my style or whatever. I think once we get this stuff actually looking the way it's gonna look, I think you guys are gonna be pretty blown away. So, and if you don't like beyond that, then fair enough. But I think it'll come together. You guys have, that's one of the risks of, but it really hasn't been a risk for us, but it's just one of the potential risks of doing completely open development. You guys, you come in here, some of you really regularly, and hey, thanks for that. And you're looking at in progress shit for a couple of years, and that's just kind of the way it is. So, but they've been mainly, what we're seeing is they've been playing around with the new shader that allows us to do some new things that I can't really articulate well. Maybe we can get somebody on stream to articulate it cleanly. And with regards to like, AO and curvature and shit that I can say the words, but I can't really explain as well. But essentially to give, we've got this flatter, chunkier style, but you'll then be able to see edges better and shadows and things like that. So yeah, like in terms of frame rate, we've got some areas that are just naturally, as the internet says, problematic, right? Because these super long lines of sight. But we'll look at that, and maybe it'll be a solution. Maybe we have to look at it, and if we're just finding that it is a problem because we can't occlude because you've got this super like crazy line of sight or whatever, even though this should be occluding more, I would think. Then maybe we'll make a change. Maybe it'll be okay enough. We'll see. Says even looks like there's displacement on the stone. Well, I mean, we'll see some of the texture blending that uses like the data from the different textures to kind of work together, like the depth here, so the sand fills in the cracks and stuff like that. Cagematic says, honestly, I wish more games would do this. Watching you guys create this makes me feel like I'm along for the ride. Makes playtest more special. Hey. I'm glad it's working for you. Like I said, the only real downside that, kind of feared over the years is if you watch the sausage get made too much, then maybe you're just not as interested in the finished product. Maybe, it's like kind of feels like it's taken too long, or maybe you've seen too much or whatever, but no, it's cool that it works for a lot of you. Hey, Chudster. I mean, I feel like you guys are more free-range cow meat vibes, We're artisanal. Oh, nice. Glad it's working now. Zoidberg says, I'll definitely back off streams as you get closer to release. Yeah, and it'll be harder and harder for us to show everything on stream as well, right? Did you guys see a new Star Trek short film produced by William Shatner? It's glorious. What? And there's a link there? Interesting. All right. The link's above Cagematic. Some people don't want to know how the sausage is made. They just want to eat a really, really good product. Yeah. And for those folks, I don't mind if they don't come to the stream, Has the team decided on what dance animations each race will have? You know what I'd rather have instead of unique dance animations per race, maybe, and have them be, well, maybe these aren't mutually exclusive concepts. It would be nice to know how, different cultures dance in our world, and instead of like, oh, the ogres are doing the Cabbage Patch. So it'd be nice to develop like a dance styles for our world and not just slap on like normal modern dances on the different races. Lore accurate dancing, correct? That said, I mean, it'd be interesting to see how you pull that off. But we've added an additional animator. So maybe we will pull it off. Alright, so things are running pretty good in here. In the main crazy drags, I'm still, you know, I'm hitting like 30. No players on the screen though. Everywhere else it seems like it's, you know, 40, 50. What are my settings at? Recommended, not performance. What if I drop my target frame rate to 30? All right. Gnomes should do the robot. But again, wouldn't that be... I guess, do you guys think it's kind of unavoidable that the dances look like common modern analogs? Gotta have twerking and a stanky leg. Maybe we put it up for a vote, I guess. Nicodemus, I want to say one more time how happy I am that Amos is back and safe. I know that the game Fortnite got in a lot of trouble for using different dances in their game, but I don't know if it was because they were making a profit off those individual dances. Oh, that's true. Stanky Leg has been in game. Yep, Darius. Amos made his way back. Yeah, I don't remember what happened, Darton, with regards to I thought I saw some sort of like complaint or suit or whatever as well. G. Williker says Guild Wars 1 still has the highest quality dance animation so far, just compared to Blood Elves from WoW and the male Virtualist from Guild Wars 1. They both do the Napoleon Dynamite dance, but Guild Wars looks so much better. We'll have to take a look at them when we start digging around. Bill said thanks. It was hard to work last night worrying about them. 2 in the morning, it got cold. Man, I would be devastated. Yeah. Tag me in a comparison on Discord. I'd be curious to see it. Darton says, Robot, absolutely love your idea for culture specific dances. I'm sure it wouldn't be hard for the animators to come up with a line of dances for each race. I also think it'd be cool if there was a command or keystroke that would allow you to join in on other people's dances. That would be cool. I was gonna open Discord. I had this thing happens with my Discord. Does this happen to you where you go to open it and it just doesn't do anything and you've got to go into Task Manager and kill it? Like, it happens all the time with me in Discord. All time for Chinny as well. Alright, good. As long as it's not just me. Ollie, good night. Happy birthday again, buddy. Happy 25th birthday, Ollie. Darton, be safe. Little Timmy is actually little Ollie. Little Ollie. Hey, pessimistic squid. As you should. Ollie's a young one. Viewer rewards. There's a viewer rewards button over here on my creator dashboard. There are you get no rewards. I've never even looked at that. I don't think I've had it expanded. I am 21. Pretty neat, Bob. What's going on, dude? I haven't heard. I don't think I've seen you in chat before, but it's not saying you're new. So, have you been lurking, or have you chatted? Like, it should say that. Why is it not ratted you out for being new? You chatted once. There you go. That's the way to do it. Darden said I'm going to be 50 on December 6th. Life goes by fast. Tell me about it. I will be 50 in March. It's one of those situations where I'm blessed enough to look at my life and go, man, shit's going really well. How many years do I have left in me? Time flies by so fast right now that I'm just like, why couldn't all this be happening like 15 years ago? Damn. Cool thing is there are a number of people on the team that are like 15 years younger than me, so I'm hoping that things work out really, really well. So that for them, hey, they're not up there with us 50-year-olds, and they've got even more time to enjoy the stuff that's going on. So that's a fun thought for me. All the more reason why we can't postpone EA. Yeah, no shit. I don't know. Maybe I'm not able to get into this zone on this client. I don't know why I wouldn't be able to, but I don't notice anything going on. It's the second time trying to get in. I would give it another minute or two. Eminem 2? No, no Eminem 2. Just Eminem forever. Eminem Mobile. Ah. So you can sit on a toilet and still talk to your guildmates? Eminem the board game. There we go. Eminem tabletop. We'd call Eminem Mobile. Maybe we do Eminem Mobile and it's but it's a very specific feature set optimized for pooping. And we just call it Eminem Poopin'. It's being him. All right, so I'm gonna kill the client and I'm gonna try one more time. I tried to zone to Shallow Shoals and I'm wondering if, for some reason on the built client, maybe it's that zone's not getting built. Maybe that's it. Maybe it's not in a list. Would that be a thing? Chip, Keith. Be Eminem. There we go, Pessimistic Squid. I think that's the winner. If we were to... Nick actually has a really cool idea for a name modification if we ultimately need a name modification later. For some reason or another that I'm not going to mention now. Some iteration. Then we've got it covered. It's very nostalgic. Bowels and Memories. Define Possum. That's a horrible name. I would say even like I can only think of bad names when it comes to the toilet app, but even my bad names are better than that. I was just thinking monsters and making poopy. There are no good memories associated with your bowels. You need to drink more water and get yourself some fiber. Are we going to see a new zone? Maybe. It's one that's very much in progress. We'll see if I get in. Long Dong says, PoE 2 showcase yesterday was pretty sick. Seems like the team started similar to this one. Pretty inspiring. Yeah, they are one of the more inspiring companies out there. And I've got to admit, I watched a little bit. I was in bed. I watched a little bit because everybody was talking about it in Slack. And I got to admit, if I played it, I would probably have fun, but I don't think I'm the target audience there anymore. I think like my ARPG days are well behind me. I was watching, I was like, yeah, it looks pretty good. I was just kind of like everybody, but I didn't want to be the old grumpy buzzkill, you know. So there's no point in ever saying that in a thread where everybody's like super excited about stuff. Everybody is super excited about it, and that's cool. But I was just kind of like, oh, okay, well, I guess if I had the opportunity to have time to play like PoE 2 or P99 or MNM or go back and play more of Elden Ring. Yeah. So, Keith, do you know, do we have to flag zones? I can get into it in editor. I can't get into it in client. So I'm wondering if it's not flagged to be a part of the build. Zedar78 says, hi, do you have other major influences outside of EverQuest? On the team or just me personally? On the team, we've got a pretty broad range of influences. I'd say the bulk of the team is kind of rooted in old EQ. It's where a lot of the people that have reached out to join the team have done so because... yeah, I think my tune is... kind of stuck, but yeah, then I'd say second biggest influence, like Nick said, Classic WoW is a big one on team. Nick, Ollie, I mean, honestly, a lot of the team. A couple folks they're mainly coming to us with like a WoW, Classic WoW background, but the majority are EQ folks, and then there are other influences like Ultima Online, Star Wars Galaxies, looking at some of the more player-generated content there, the more sandboxy feel. The sense of place that those bring. Yeah, a lot of... Oh, I don't know. I wouldn't say a lot, but we've definitely got a handful of like very strong tabletop folks as well. And then some of those like early influences that got us into, you know, pre-online, I guess, right? Well, there was the BBSs and stuff back then, but there's a little bit of mud influence. For me, the old CRPGs were just such a huge thing. And games like the original Ultimas, that Ultima series and that sense of place and the absolute lack of hand-holding in the Ultimas where you just kind of come in, you're there, right? You read the manuals and then you just freeform explore. And the level of interaction in those older games has always been an inspiration. Even when I was working on EQ, like we would talk about how much more you could interact with things, you know, look in barrels and just sort of interact with the world. I think it was what Ultima 4 or was it 5? But I thought it was 4 though, where one of the puzzles is you go into you're like in what's his name, Blackthorn's lair, and you've got to play the harpsichord. Right, like you at some point in there you learn like what the keys would be based on like numbers or something. It was like this really just sort of crazy puzzle that you pick up from somewhere else, and again really rooted in the old adventure like CRPGs and stuff of the era. And like, so you played a harpsichord in it, you know, basically unlocks a door, fulfills a puzzle or something, I forget. And the moon gates being on one of the biggest inspirations for us having 3 moons and then having the moon phases actually matter in our data was the old Ultima moon phases, making it so that you'd find certain reagents depending on moon phase, or you'd be taken to different places with the moon gates depending on moon phases and shit like that. It felt like a richer world. And so it's always felt like if we were to be able to take a game that just has super tight, really compelling, easy to understand core gameplay like an EQ, and just add more depth to it. If you guys weren't here early on, we were talking about our like faith, you know, religion system, faith and devotion, stuff like that we're bringing online right now, and you know, opportunities there that just take something that was a cool aspect of EQ and then takes it up a level. Oh, I know what I wanted to do. I didn't need to kill a client. I just needed to hop in on a different tune. Let me do that. I'm going to make a new tune. And then for those of you that weren't here earlier, you'll see the very, very initial implementation of like picking what god you follow, if any. But yeah, so there's just a lot of interaction shit in those old games that was really cool, and always thought like if you have a game that is compelling like a EQ, extend the systems, add that additional interaction, do cool lighting, get a nice paint job on it, and you know, improve in the moment-to-moment gameplay in a way that still feels like that nice, more strategic, slower paced combat, but again just takes that and extends it like we're doing with a lot of stuff, then we've got a winner. Zdar78 said, heard some classic WoW soundtrack on one of your teammates' streams. Loves the more atmospheric soundtrack of Eminem, by the way. Hey, thank you. And yeah, you probably heard that. I wouldn't be shocked if that was either Goblin or Zukin. Let's make a new tune. Ultima 4 was amazing. Unchained said, oh, Zdar78, by the way, you're the last person to follow me in my activity feed, so thank you for the follow 7 hours ago. And thanks for coming back. People say modern graphics are important, but are so important. But if you look at Fortnite and how bad the graphics are, yeah, it's still the most popular game online, I believe. I don't know if it's the most popular, but it's damn popular. I mean, there a few years ago, I think they were posting like something ridiculous, like 100 million in profit. I don't even think it was just revenue. I thought it was like profit. It was like ridiculous at the time. That said, I mean, I think they also added a lot more in terms of monetization. That may or may not have been great, but pretty neat. Bob says, man, Ultima was my first MMO in 2000 on AOL dial-up internet. Being 10 and playing that was mind-blowing. I bet it was. I was in a store one day and the guy showed me Ultima and EverQuest. I looked at the boxes and I was like, nope. It was recommended. EverQuest was recommended. It looks cooler, and that's what kind of set me on my path. Moon thing reminds me of the game Moonring, which is inspired by Ultima. I have that installed and I have not played it yet. Is that the one that's got like the neon kind of graphics? It's like Ultima but neon. Fortnite graphics ain't bad though. I don't mind it, and don't get me wrong, I enjoyed playing Fortnite a bit, but at the time, I think I'd rather I would prefer. Oh, I see what you're saying. Darton said something about the graphics. Oh, I misread Darton's whole shit earlier. Sorry. Did I say Fortnite when I read that? But I was just thinking RuneScape? Or did I say RuneScape instead of Fortnite? Anyways. No, I didn't think Fortnite looked bad when it came out. I thought it was kind of a cool look. I liked Overwatch better. Yeah. Sorry, I was thinking of RuneScape the whole time. For whatever reason, I inserted RuneScape over Fortnite. Yeah. I wouldn't be shocked if Fortnite continued to have like ridiculous number of players. You know, so does a number of things. I think somebody just mentioned Minecraft, Roblox. I mean, and they just have, you know, anything that's got more than 100 million monthly active users is pretty incredible. Unchained said, people like to trash or discredit Lord British, yet he was the founder of the PNP for MMOs. I would say Lord British was also the founder for, I mean, I have to go back and look at the documentary again. I have a great book that I need to keep sort of thumbing through on the history of RPGs. Hold on one second, I'll grab it and show it to you. But like there'd be no JRPGs if it wasn't for Lord British. So this is the CRPG book. You know, guys, thank you for reminding me I have this. Actually, I will put this where I remember to take it upstairs with me when I head upstairs tonight. It is published by Bitmap Books. I'll show you real quick. It's really well made. The packaging was fantastic. And I don't think it was very expensive at the time. We'll see. €42.95 euro. So should be. So this is the expanded edition coming soon. So what about the original one? They got Commodore books? What? What's that even about? Darius said, I think the series peaked at Ultimate 3 though. Never liked the Avatar stuff too much, but I did like the question asking at the beginning. Yeah, with the cards. Commodore 64, a visual compendium. Someone needs to pay you for these book recommendations. I get paid in karma, my friend. I get paid in good karma. Because if you guys check it out and then, oh man, this is badass. All right. I'm going to have to get this. If you guys check it out and you like it, then you will, in your heart, you will thank me for having recommended such cool shit to you. But man, look at the production values on these. So they may be out of the non-expanded version. So you'll have to wait for the CRPG book, but these are awesome. Okay. Darton says, I guess what I was trying to say is what your game has to offer to the player base is much more important than graphics. I said that because earlier in the stream you said that one of the things that attracts me to your game is stylized art. I absolutely love that particular type of art style. Obviously playing EverQuest for almost 25 years. I love many things about your game. Hey, appreciate it. CageMatic says, man, I have to tell you, your dwarf models are my favorite dwarf models of any game. Dwarves are my jam, and these are akin to my favorite. Blueberry jam, I mean. They feel good, don't they? So we got dwarf, halfling. Hey guys. Gnome. Oh man, he is not a happy looking guy. That's a little bit better. Sewer gnomes. Humans. We just watched Jasmine, I wasn't sure if Jasmine had seen was it No Country for Old Men? So we just watched that the other month recently, a few weeks ago. Hey, friendo. Hey, Lasava. Anyone else spend hours hand copying code into C64s from the back of magazines? When I was in middle school, a little bit of BASIC. Leaf butt's okay, right? We were talking about outfits and stuff the other day. Leaf butt seems alright. No additional hairs yet. All right. An ogre. Yeah, we need to fix her face. Look very strong. This combo actually, she looks very angry. Very angry redhead. Definitely a what did you just say? I don't know that she wants to speak to the manager. I think she's tired of you asking to speak to the manager. Abominator, Double XL, what's going on? Howdy. Lorraine, what's up? Freaking goblins, man. Will the deep gnomes and deep elves be similar to dark elves? And I always mess up the pronunciation of the name no matter how much I read it because I don't say it out loud very often. The Sverfneblin. Deep elves will be similar to dark elves. Deep gnomes are their own kind of weird. They're their own thing. Have you seen you've seen the art form, right? We've got it all up on we've got concepts on the We've got concepts up on the website. I just clicked a button. Um, eye color. Eye color? I haven't messed around with the new faces much. The deep gnomes have indeed seen some stuff. They've been places. Are all the races going to have their own cities? Eventually, they will all have their own cities. Abominator said, hello, apparently Twitch blocks my chat occasionally because of my VPN. Thought you would ban me at first. No, why would I ban you? Haven't had to ban very many people. Just didn't know if they would be more evil inclined, etc. Stuff like that, besides looks. Yeah, deep elves, definitely evil. Deep gnomes, probably less about being evil and more about kind of just being really neutral, which in that sort of chaotic, true neutral sense. Doing whatever it takes to gain knowledge. Yeah, they're kind of on a weird mission. They are the way they are because of their sort of brush with some very evil forces, but they ultimately didn't turn out evil because of it. Like if you met them for the first time and they found you interesting, it is possible that deep gnomes would look at you and go, I wonder what makes this thing work, and decide that maybe you're worth taking apart. But they wouldn't necessarily be doing it because they're inclined to be evil. They're just doing it because they're interested to see what's inside you. Thank you for answering questions, man. It makes me love the game even more to be able to talk to you guys. We are happy you guys are here to talk to. I don't think I've played a female gnome. So let's do this. I'm always a little dude gnome. They're not evil, just sociopathic and curious and on a mission. Yeah, seriously, deep gnomes seem similar to Darrow. Kind of driven crazy by the horrors of the deep. Yeah, Darius, I think it was you that turned me on to that reference, and I hadn't read about them before. And they are very, without knowing it, we've landed in some similar spots there. Thanks, Abominator. So we're good here. Let's go to stats. Int. Guess stamina, why not? I don't know. Throwaway character. So I'll just make her wrong. Let's see. Cool. So she's intelligent. Conjurer. All stuff that I never do before. I'll also play. I don't know that have I ever actually, like, in recent years or in the last year played like an elementalist. We'll see. Forage. Am I looking for a group? Yeah. Why not? I've got an hour. Let's do it. I have the feeling deep gnomes are going to be very popular, but a ton of people will main them. I'm just very curious to see how we pull the eyeballs off. That's the main thing. They're just such a... I'm very curious to see, like, what they're like in 3D. Lasava said, I believe deep gnomes are just as curious and creative as their surface cousins. maybe even more so, just with less reservations about how those experiments might affect others. So one description that I've given for deep gnomes versus gnomes before is gnomes would be astronauts, deep gnomes would be psychonauts. I'm very curious to see how we pull the eyeballs off. You sound like a deep gnome already. I'll have to remember that when I'm writing some deep gnome stuff. I will use checks. I have to keep that in mind. Sound like a deep gnome already. That's perfect. Probably. Cool. Deity. So this will be updated to say faith. So yeah, so you'll be able to pick your faith when you create a character in the upcoming playtest, future playtest. And so Keith's been getting this in. It's really fun. And so this will really start to kick off like the additional. Just push the changes push for faith. Just haven't finished building it. Nice. Love the placeholder picks. Yeah. Just in case you never make it to one of our cat rooms. And then once you're in game, will the deep gnomes be oppressed by the deep elves? Some of them will be. But deep gnomes are kind of hard to oppress. Like, I could imagine it's just being like, are you, you know, we're oppressing you, and a deep gnome would be like, okay, and just wander off. Why no poor boar? Good question. We just, Keith grabbed what we had some stuff written up for, just to get the system up and running, and then we'll be adding more as we go. And then the next step will be to get our devotion system in place so that if you pick a faith at the beginning, and then you decide you want to change it, you can renounce your faith, you can transition over, like if you haven't really invested in sort of building your devotion, you can transition over to following a different deity or faith, and yeah, and then there'll be a whole system there. We were talking about it at the beginning of the stream, so if you weren't here for that, maybe you can check out the VOD and stuff. Yeah, so it's gonna. I mean, we looked at other systems where you can do like tithing and things like that, and so it'll be incorporated more, and it'll be a system that's fluid, and over time there'll be options for you to follow that you did not follow, that just weren't available when you created your character, and over time different races will have access to different options, different race classes and stuff. So spoiler, those aren't placeholder picks but lore accurate representations. Exactly. Mega church feature in M&M. I would say one of the mega church would probably be if you were a follower of the 9, which isn't listed here yet either. How do you plan to treat technology in game? Vanilla WoW, gnomes, and goblins had high fantasy steampunk vibe, gives depth to the world. They're always treated as comic relief. There won't be that level of sophistication of tech in our game. Rooted more in like more traditional high fantasy. It's not to say that there may not be clockwork or some sort of a steampunk thing here or there, but and like we were just saying with the deep gnomes, you know, there'll be some playfulness, etc., but it's not. So, you know, like gnomes and deep gnomes and goblins, there'll definitely be silliness and capers and all that stuff, but we want to take ourselves seriously in a charming way as possible. I will This is my pupper, by the way. Actually, both of these are. This is him when he's being evil, and this is him when he's being sweet. Rooney, buddy, you're in the game. What is this? What? More stuff? Is it real? It is real. Speaking of goblins, who do I need to bribe to allow goblins to be wizards? Would love that combination. If we told you who you have to bribe, then you might be able to figure out the secret quest to make it happen. That we're not going to tell you. I'm excited to play her. All right, let's do it. But on that note, and in all seriousness, and we may or may not have discussed that combination, we will be providing opportunities for you to unlock in different ways. Race class combinations that we don't have with available at the start. All right. I'm a little gnome lady. Our ogres are not dumb. Our ogres can be dumb. Our ogres run the gambit of dumb to pretty damn smart. Now, if you want to be a dumb ogre, you can. We're not preventing you from being a dumb ogre. But we're also not making you be a dumb ogre. I love race class combinations that feel opposed to each other. I was just thinking about our trolls the other day. Yesterday? We have troll rogues. That'll be a combo. Troll enchanter is still a thing, yep. Yeah, there's a lot of combinations for the trolls are kind of based around what would be horrific to run into in a swamp. Yep, exactly. The it's funny. The troll enchanter was, you just said feels like D&D hags. The example we were talking about internally was bog witch. Right? Basically they're ultra predatory. Would someone have to be the race and switch to a new class, or unlock race class combo to start a new character? It's Goblin just said the answer. We're gonna do different things for different race class combos. Some may be available just because a new modules come out. Some may be unlocked as part of a quest. I think as a team we should probably talk a little bit about implications of allowing direct transfer over versus just unlocking on the account. But yeah, so we'll be playing around with it. Are trolls even allowed in Night Harbor proper? When trolls come online, they will be... Night Harbor is pretty forgiving, but they're going to be... They won't be KOS, I don't think. But they're not really welcome. And Night Harbor's a big place, so they may not be, we may see that certain races aren't KOS on like a thoroughfare, but if they head into certain districts and stuff, they will be. So we'll be playing with it. Maybe stay away from temples and other people who seem shiny. Yeah. Blah, blah, blah. Pinwheel. Receive a box of elemental incense. Small velvet bag. Stash. Alright. Go up to the city, provide offerings to some of our invisible keepers. Take the spin wheel. A spin when you're in the presence of a hungry djinn in places of proper elemental resonance. You will not need to do anything. It will spin all on its own. Djinn are often housed inside objects of art, such as statues, because they do not have a physical form. When you find them, place some incense for them from this box. They will offer you a token of their appreciation in the form of a pearl. Place the pearls in this bag. Return it alongside the pinwheel, your belt, and the box. There are 4 pearls in all to find. 1 for earth, water, fire, wind, etc. Alright. We've got a pinwheel. All right, Sarenth. Take care. Have a great weekend. I don't think I've been in here since it was propped. Nice. Good job, guys. Ah, cool. I can actually get up there. That's handy. Orcs will not be playable, G. Willikers. Maybe if we have, like, play as a monster or something. We want some of our monsters to stay monsters. Hey, Tannhauser. Got myself some nice bags. Let's see. Gribbles 163, thank you for the follow. Loot some stuff. Marcus from Oz, what's going on? Looks like that crouch bug is still a thing. I didn't even notice when I was crouching down to loot. Your character was crouching while attacking. Okay. Let's see. Oh, I need to make a note. Well, shit. That didn't make it to us. Nice job, Archer. Liz Biscuits, what's going on? Alright, I'm level 2 now. Is Nick around curious if the Archer got a bunch of love? He may be listening in. Wasn't that a fast level up? It felt a little fast to me, yeah. But, I mean, I've also done, maybe it was from the first quest turn in. No Archer love yet, Nick said. Nick, are you playing video games in the background? Wow, he's got a hat. He's got a hat. That's clearly an elementalist hat. Perfect. Playing video games in the foreground. Sorry, that's what I meant. We're in the background. Alright, you rest and I'll see if I can kill something. Lasava says, I'm still convinced that grouped players are given solo amounts of experience. Forecast, Nick, what level are you up to? We know Nick didn't sleep last night in his classic grind. He said he did sleep, but how long did you sleep? Seven to 8 hours? What? You got more sleep last night than I did. No, that's not true. I actually got like 7 hours sleep yesterday. Are you functional or regression testing or just having fun? Just having fun right now. It's Friday. I have not played a nomad before. I think he's fooling us on. I don't know, man. I think Nick's telling the truth. I'm not his boss. Two things. Two errors in your logic. One, I'm not Nick's boss. Two, why would we be upset that people on the team are playing video games? Crazy wall. That's crazy wall. Boy, I'm getting mad crazy copper for these guys. I could probably afford some spells already. Spells already? Game's too easy. keep providing that feedback, Dargith. Bazaar is looking prettier. Stuff will continue to prettify in the coming weeks and months. You should be level 5 before you can pick one spell to buy. Provide the feedback. We'll take it into consideration. We have a per character zone experience modifier. We'll hook you up. We having hell levels? Yes. Where's my teammate? Love the furry spiders? Cool. Desert spiders have to be furry. Where'd that skeleton go? Probably after the next load of goods, then do seem to be leveling way faster than I was last playing. It's definitely moving along. So we'll keep an eye on it. Is a fix for the delay on mob graphic reaching the player and the melee range initiated? Oh, I'm unsure. The sun feels too bright relative to the skybox for dusk. So you're saying the skybox should be brighter? I'd be curious to see that in action. Yeah, I mean, the sun darkening's not really a thing, right? Like, it's either it's there or it's obscured. Could be. Could be that if it changes to oranger or something as it's hitting in there, and then that effect's applied. Generally speaking, that might be pretty cool. It'd be nice to see more sort of like playing with the colors in the skybox and colors and stuff and during dusk and dawn, and then also doing it on like a per zone basis. I think we should take some liberties there. Oh shit. Oh, out of range. Cool. No, that's cool, Marcus. I appreciate the feedback. Um, like right here, it'd be really cool if there's more of a glow sort of radiating. So it's not the sun itself, but there was like that nice orange glow and stuff reflected in the skybox, and then it fades into the blues. I don't know. We'll have to get some look at some different sunrise and sunset like photos and stuff, especially as we get more zones online. And like in just different zones, give them very different feels, right? Like I could see in Nick, what do you think? Like each colorful. Okay, these are pretty damn crazy. So probably not this crazy. All right, I'm just gonna take colorful out because it's just giving us some bullshit. But it'd be nice in different zones and maybe just over time, like different seasons or whatever. But it'd be nice to hit some like different skyboxes in different colors and stuff, um, in different zones, so that it just has a different feel. Some of the places that you're at. Because that's part of the fun of being zone based. There was a question earlier, and I was I don't know if you're around for it, Nick. Do you know if it seems like do we add zones to the build as they come online? Because I was here in the client and I tried to zone over to Shallow Shoals, which I can get to in the editor, and I locked up, and that got me thinking that it probably hasn't been added to a build list yet. I feel like this kind of works for a city since all the hustle and bustle might put a lot of dust in the air. I was wondering if there is something to, maybe it's I don't know, something to make it feel a little dustier in the city without obscuring the view and stuff out here later on when we're doing like super polish. Oh, excuse me, that sugar-free monster. I think that's the last time I'm buying one of those, to be honest. I don't think I want to buy another one of those. Just not a fan. Oh. You get a hood too, Keith. It is your turn now because I've got mine. Oh. Another loot pinata. How much sugar's in a monster? Well, in this one, none, and that's why it's disgusting. I'd have to look. Probably like 50 grams? I don't know why I'm thinking 50. It's either 50 or 25. You can find it online, I think. If I had to guess. Yeah. Oh. I'm gonna loot. I'm gonna go. I'll go over here and sit and then I'll look. Oh, about to hit level 3 as well. Cutting sugar's next BS thing I have to do. I hear you, Stan. I think I'll probably hit that point at some point soon as well, but I'm living it up for now. Seeing if I just run more, if maybe that'll help. How much sugar in a Monster Aussie lemonade, because they're the best? Hey, what's up, Grix? Um, 46 per serving. Serving size 1 can. So 46 grams of sugar. Did you just one-shot that guy? Greg said, is it alright if I speculate that this November, the November 30 stress test is in preparation for a longer end of year? We love our fans open test like last year. My friend, you can speculate about whatever you would like. What you do with your imagination in the privacy of your own home is completely up to you. We will not shame you for such speculation. But if you speculate too much, you could go blind. I've heard. Melo Yaga? Or, I guess if you're American. Oh, run. We're not doing that. Melo Jaeger. How large is a large rat? Pretty large, but you gotta realize I'm pretty tiny. That's a human. I'm a gnome. And a girl gnome at that. Yeah, I now realize, like, an hour later what you're saying about the the crouch bug. Is the scale of the world different if you're a smaller or a bigger race? The scale of the world stays consistent. Currently, you can jump the same height. But it definitely feels different if you're a smaller or big race. Alright, I'm gonna go sell real quick, unless we can... What am I holding? Probably a leg. Dargit said, level 3 already, game's too easy. I have played 29 minutes. It does feel a little faster this time around. I don't know if something changed. So let me go sell. And then let me go buy spells. Milo, the game is... Or sorry, Melo, the game is using Unity. But like any project in any engine, naturally we're doing... you know, custom stuff within it as needed. Alright, I'm going to... have you checked out our website at all? Or our Discord? Got a ton of info on both of those. Could you speculate on the size of the large rat, please? Correct. Not checked anything yet? Just literally found a stream while browsing? Oh, right on. So, yeah, the basic scoop is that we've been developing the game on stream for the last 4 years. We're an all-volunteer team, distributed all over the place. And so everything you're seeing is still in progress. Just take an opportunity tonight to play a little bit. What's up, Sterenth? Welcome back. Glad you're safe. I'm gonna run and grab some spells really quick. I've not bought any spells since I first started. Oh hey, that's convenient. Alright, so I've got Flame Burst. Yep. Definitely gotta get a pet, huh? Invisibility, won't need it yet. But we've got pets to buy. Fire, earth, air, water. reclaim essence. And I'll save the rest of my cash. Nick said I'm getting 100 plus FPS looking at Night Harbor Westgate. Nice. It's feeling a lot better on my machine as well. The only thing I would say is, I think I mentioned it to you and Ollie, is I don't know if I gotta change the setting or if it's just normal or what, but I'm hearing my fan kick on a lot more tonight. But then again, I also usually have both earbuds in, so maybe it's normal. But it definitely feels a lot smoother. FPS settings. Hold on one sec. Thought background FPS was like 30 and max FPS was like 60. Target background frame rate 20, target frame rate 60. And I haven't done any is the slash command separate from this? Okay. Yeah, stream is more than likely affecting it. One of these days I'm going to get a new machine and I'll stream on a separate box. But I can definitely absolutely 100% tell the difference when I'm not streaming. This area seems a bit laggy for me, even though right now there's probably a lot of stuff that when I'm up here that's maybe not getting included. Nick, did you know a bug recently about escape not closing certain windows depending on what was up? I feel like I was just running into it and now I don't. Yeah, so like if I look over here, I'm getting 50 FPS. Here, high 30s. Then we go down. I've got to buy reagent, right? Yeah. But I just want to come down there, and then once I get down here, it's back up to like 50. So I think it's just line of sight and occlusion. Do I have enough money? Oh, yeah, I really don't have enough money. I forgot. Base 100. There were some adaptive lighting issues underground. Not sure if that's related. Yeah, I have no idea. Happens if I set it to performance. Hey, Dreg. I should probably... Oh. Guess something was loading in. Yeah, my FPS, I mean, I'm not complaining in here at the moment. While streaming, still getting like close to 50. Yeah, Chip was in earlier. We were praising him. We were singing his praises. I don't know if he's still lurking. What's up, Red Forest? Watching a game develop over time motivates me to try and make my own MMO. Just see if I can do it. So far, I got login, registration, character select, first select, character creation working. Nice. What theme? What style? What are you making? What would you want to make? Fantasy anime style. Any more descriptors beyond that? I was wondering if it was a straight drop in. I was wondering how many bodies we might find in there. Blue Protocol getting canceled leaves a bit of a gap in the market. Oh, I didn't realize it got canceled. Like a mix of Genshin and WoW. Interesting. Oh, Dozakar. Ooh. For some reason, that question made me sleepy. Yeah. Not only did you guys were asking earlier, you're like, how can I drink a Monster Energy drink at 7:30, 8 p.m.? Now you're seeing it. Zero impact on my ability to sleep. I think you should join us on a few raids on P9 just so you can get the idea of kind of how the encounters feel as a player. EverQuest high-end encounters, Greg? The TOV feel on quakes versus natural spawns. Oh, interesting. Yeah, I think that's fair. I tell you what, if you can somehow get them to start a new P99, I will level up and then I will raid with you guys. I've been thinking about it a lot lately, wanting to, even without a new server, get in and play more. I was actually thinking about it during dinner because Jasmine was gone shooting for like during dinner time, so I was just kind of like eating dinner by myself, and I was thinking, man, I could be probably just eating dinner and like popping onto one of my P99 tunes and leveling a little bit. But yeah, getting a little power leveling and run around with folks. I don't know that I mind it. Girls, did I think I did. I did. Thank you for the follow. I looked up and saw it. Yeah, because I mean, I rated EQ, but never on P99. Which members of the team have experienced top-level competitive rating besides Robert? I would say Robert, Ollie, Nick. I don't think I'm misspeaking on Ollie. Fairly certain Stab, Kumadar, me. Because, yeah, back to the point, I've never rated on P99, but I was in the #1 guild on my server on 7th Hammer for a few years. And I mean, you know, so was we didn't have full resets unless it was server coming up, and when server coming up, I mean, we yeah, I was about to say, like, Nick's got very, very thorough P99 rating experience on top of all of his other rating experience. But I mean, we pretty much dominated the guild, or dominated the server for the time that I was there, which I was primarily, I mean, the guild was kind of pretty done with like Kunark target. But I mean, I spent so many weekends just like sitting in Velius and hitting Luckland targets and shit like that, that yeah, I've been there. I don't know what it's like on P99, and I don't know what it's like with modern efficiency with regards to all the new strats and all that other shit, but like when I was there, we were sitting there for, you know, it was one of those situations where it was a solid 11, 14 hours of raiding some days on weekends. So, and in my guild, at least, I was lucky enough that, because I was having to spend a fair amount of time at work, working on EQ, but still wanting to raid. And so it was a situation where sometimes before I would leave work, I would hop in and run my tune wherever we needed to go. or I would just have someone log me in and run me there. And then my girlfriend and I, future ex-wife, basically like we would rush home as fast as possible, log in to wherever our tunes were, and then proceed to raid for the rest of the night until morning. And then, you know, if that was like a Friday or whatever, like probably be down all weekend. Hey, what's up, Blue Queen of Dragons? Sorry I missed you earlier. So, Malo says, what is P99? I know P45 is what someone gets after employment termination in UK. P99 is Project 1999. It's a EverQuest simulator that recreates the feel of the game at during that early classic era, so starting 99 through whenever, I guess, Velius came out. When was that? 2001? 2002? 2001? Yeah. Yeah, I don't know, Drake. Does that help clarify things? I think if we polled the team or whatever, I think we've got a pretty decent amount of raid experience on the team. Oh, Dreg's away. Let me go check something. Nick Unchained asked, what years did you raid on P99? Nick said early blue days and then 2021 through 23 and on green. I mean, would you say, is it fair to say that Earthquake is essentially the basic experience is similar to like server coming up on patch day or whatever? Yeah, Earthquake is simulating unscheduled maintenance, I think. Yeah. Okay, fair. Yeah, I swear I remember my guild being pretty happy when there was relatively innocuous, like instability. Like it was random rollbacks, that's not great, but the occasional crash was nice, or the occasional like random patch was nice. Or unscheduled maintenance, I guess. Scribble said it's basically vanilla EverQuest with regards to what is P99. Nick, would you say that being an elementalist, you benefit from taking mining straight out of the gate? Exactly, it's very strategic, determining targets based on available players and capabilities. Yeah, no, it's a fun mini game. No, not really. Where do I get crushed malachite? I didn't see any on the vendors. No, I'll go to one of the other reagent vendors then. I think I just didn't see a reagent vendor in the mage trainer. Sorry, the elementalist area. I swear I checked them. Do you plan on having this level of view distance in every zone, or will there be some with distance fog? There'll be some with distance fog. Big water elemental at the bottom. Okay, cool. Yeah, I did not check. Wait, that's herbalism. That's not a reagent trainer. He's a reagent. Or, why did I say trainer? Reagent. You're not NPC. One of these motherfuckers. Oops. I mean, one of these individuals. Okay, so it's going to be probably specific to that one. Zedar, here, I'll show you. And then I'll come back, and then I'll Turn off GM so I stop cheating. Boomer moment, but how do I follow stream on mobile? I don't know. Dunning-Kruger. There should just be a heart. Look for a heart. Probably like bottom right of the screen. Keith, I'm not gonna thank you for the follow. Did you just unfollow and refollow? Actually I'm curious if this zone is flagged. It is, okay. So here's a foggier zone. Zedar. Been a long time VOD stalker, never recall catching a live stream. Hey, well, welcome. Thanks for watching the VODs. So, those of you that are new here, just keep in mind everything is very much in progress, especially this zone. Very, very much in development. I'm actually in a hill, I think. Let me pop out. I gotta update that safe spot, zone and location. Oh. I'm out of the geo, but I'm in a cave. So let me... Which way is shorter? I'm in the river tunnel. But yeah, Unchained. So my guild leader loved that shit. My guild leader was just like your completely Machiavellian. I mean, he was a young guy from South Korea that was his parents sent him to the U.S. to go to college, so he would stop getting in trouble playing Lineage. He was in like a Lineage gang in South Korea. You know, the guys, they would get in fights over Lineage at the PC bongs, the internet cafes. So his mom and dad sent him to the U.S. to go to school, and he never went to class. He just played EverQuest. He maintained a spreadsheet of all the key people of note in all of the rival guilds, so that he would know to recruit them, or like, you know, basically block certain, like there are certain targets that we would kill just so that we knew that we were preventing certain other up and coming guilds from being able to, I don't know, get their warriors fully geared up or whatever. So it was like that level of that's how he liked playing the game. So target selection, all of that stuff was very much his bag. Strategery was his thing. He was good enough at that kind of shit that he even on his own, like one of my coworkers and I were both in the guild with him. We didn't really give him any information. But he was good enough that he was able to theory craft his way into, despite us being a smaller server, but the #1 guild on, I mean, Seventh Hammer wasn't a well-known server, but he still won the game-wide best of the best as a Shadow Knight, beating like FOH and everybody else, right? So, I mean, he had his shit together. He was a good player. I will never profess to be a good player. Anybody that's watched me play EverQuest, or if you've been in a group with me, Nick, you know that I'm not what you would call a very efficient or good player. But at the time, I took it seriously enough that, and really enjoyed raiding enough that I mean, that's what I was into. In terms of like developing content and shit like that as well. I mean, that was one of the factors, you know, one of the things that I think a lot of us on the team took into making Planes of Power. But like I felt like I understood that game well enough, that part of the game well enough to make pretty competent raids and encounters during my time there. So what era was this? I played with them probably Kunark through maybe Eldon. It was like late Kunark through Eldon. Sarinth, you are on Seventh Hammer. Did you know any of the Dark Exile guys? TDE. Unchained said some of my most fun I've had was a late night, early morning Vulak contest. A contested raid where both guilds were low on numbers, both wiping a couple times, struggling through recovery, losing players, and not giving up, securing the win for double guards and a Bashi staff drop. Yeah, I mean, I absolutely get like the various scenarios and the high stress and the I don't know, the pride and like the fun of it. But I think that's also taking that out of that era. And again, I'm not going to try to profess like I was basically along for the ride half the time. Like I that's one of the things that coming into this game, it was something we talked about early on as well, and it was just like I don't know. It's a pretty different style of gameplay, and it's a different game than you know, sitting in camps and sort of just like running around and finding camps and really just focusing on the journey. But I don't think they're mutually exclusive, but I do think that a fair amount of energy can wind up getting consumed by a team that starts to get fixated on that part of the game. Wanda said, "Zone looks so nice. Haven't checked in a few months. Great to see. Any parts of the Wood Elf City we can see? Nope. And the stuff you see here is placeholder for now. We're in the design phase for the Wood Elf City. I'm honestly mainly just getting here. I'm waiting around right now so you can see these the god rays. What's beautiful is the option, right? One has the option to do all or none. Well, but what I'm saying is the team, in providing that option for the players, the team can find that it preoccupies a lot of their attention and starts to become more of a focus of the game. And then depending on how the journey is actually built, I'm not saying that it precludes people from being more focused on the journey as opposed to just trying to get to, you know, be able to raid. I do think that if the game's challenging enough, the grind's long enough, you know, it's possible to create a more elite tier, a raid tier within the game that people just realize for the most part they're not going to be doing. Like Mondis was, no, Sarenth was saying, no, sadly I didn't. I was still in high school when playing, so pretty casual, right? But again, it can change the nature of the game, and it can be something where then in trying to keep those folks fed, though a game that's more finite, or when there's a more finite content path like P99, you guys know you're not getting more content beyond that. You've seen it, it's there. So that makes it less of like a pure, hey, how do I grind so I can get into the raid tier of content? so that I can stay in that tier as more and more expansions come out that are focusing on that. So I do think it's, you know, it's a little different than like live. P99 is different than live in that regard. Well, it's not just TLP, it's the fact that live has so much content beyond Velius, right? Oh no, I forgot. Cool. Let me kill this. Yeah. So you know, from my end at least, the stress on, hey, we've got to be really cautious with creating a raid tier of content. Mainly stems from the idea that if the game does have an in-game with a focus on raiding, and we screw up the feel of progression or how we handle that rating, we can quickly make it so that the game becomes about progressing through the game as fast as humanly possible so that you can raid, and then it validates a shitload of a world and sense of place or whatever that otherwise would have been better appreciated. But anyways, recently the zone's very much still under construction, but I wanted to pop in here since you're asking about it, because it does have such a different feel from the desert that you guys typically see. Nick and Ollie were in here recently adjusting fog settings, and I think really nailed the feel with the god rays that are in here and stuff. The lighting's a lot of fun. Bilth is continuing to build out the zone. So the end of this month, we had targeted to like get basically the terrain and all that stuff done. And then for the next couple of months after this, so December, January, etc., we'll still be in here working on the city, which will naturally lead to some more adjustments in here and things like that. So, and then fleshing out the pop. We've got a nice placeholder pop in here, but fleshing out the pop and stuff. Fish cuts, yeah, we could have that discussion some night. I think that'd be a fun one to have more than just me on. Maybe if there's a night when Nick's available as well, that'd be fun. Let's see. Dunning Kruger says, I feel that every time a fresh classic WoW spins up, it's about the rush to raid, despite what people think, and soon the world is invalidated. It's a vibe I never got much in TLPs or P99 when I play with them. How many zones are we looking to have for soft launch? I forget what the actual count is. It's like 13, 15. I'd have to go back and recount again. But there's a list on our FAQ. Whoops. How about I do it over here, not in game? FAQ. So the early access FAQ will give you a list. What good races will be able to go to the Dark Elf City and live, or will they kill you or not? Will they kill you or not? Just will they kill you or just not like you? I think it's going to differ race to race and probably religion and class as well. And then there'll be a foreign quarter for the deep elves. They'll have a foreign quarter that'll be a little bit more forgiving. And then a lot of folks will just, if you go beyond that, then you'll die. Or if you go in the wrong part of it, you'll die. So. Yeah. All right, guys. It is 11:30. I'm going to I'm going to head out of here. Monster Energy did not do it for me tonight. I think it's the lack of sugar. So Wednesday I'll have one with sugar. Keith, thank you for the group. You guys have a wonderful weekend. Bill, if you're out there or not, Bill, super good to hear that Amos came back and is safe. Eric, you mentioned Final Fantasy 11 like 3 times earlier, and I meant to say something about it. Sorry about that. I just saw you on there. I was like, shit, I never responded to that. But all right, I'm gonna say goodnight. Nomely fans, good night. Isan, good night, buddy. Tanami-san, take care. Good night, Eric. See ya, Dozakar, thanks. Chudster, see ya. Theorinth, thanks for being here. G. Willikers, Dragon, the Sava, thanks all of you. Theorinth, take care. Dreg, good to see you. MMO Pug. No worries. I responded to your questions. So I don't know if you're at all curious. I guess it's probably at 3 hours and 10 minutes into the stream or something. But we tried to respond to you. But I was responding and then realized that you were on a you had pulled. So, XVECU. Chat Solo, always good to see you. Unchained, have a good one. Thanks for the questions. Later, Thadvik. Thank you. Liz said, oh, night. By the way, finish Square 2 tonight, halfway through, join the edges. Oh, that's amazing. It still blows my mind that you've got the patience for that. All right, guys, I'm going to head out. Have a wonderful weekend. I will see you guys Wednesday. Keep an eye on Discord or whatever. We may be around. Yeah, man. Have fun. Be safe. And we'll talk on Wednesday. Good night, Nick.